It's so pretty. I love them.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We're live.
Hey, 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 hey. All right, so welcome to the live streaming recording of the podcast. Hey, Comadre. So today we have two comadres. It's today
Ilse Garcia
and Claudia Macias. Our other Garcia is not going to be with us today, but she's here in spirit, and we're going to continue by saying what she always says. Primero, ahorita vamos a mandar a todos los niños a dormir. I'm going to give you a disclaimer. This is all grown folk talk. So, all right. So let's just get started. We haven't seen each other in about a week.
So many things happen in about a week.
Oh, yes.
Like how amazing do things. I'm gonna start off the show by first saying a huge congratulations to my super comadre Claudia, who with her achievements got into a great organization for Leadership Houston here in Houston, Texas. It's a top of the leadership world. And I am a proud alumni, class 40, and now she is class 41. Alongside other great friends that got in. So congratulations.
Thank you. And today as I was driving, Comadre, I was just like, wow, I'm exactly where I need to be.
Good.
And I remember thinking a years back, like, wow, there's so many great opportunities. How does this happen? And I remember you saying with time, God's timing, you do the work, you do the work. And and then I added last night, do the work from your heart.
Absolutely.
And embrace, the wins. And then if you don't win and the neighbor wins, celebrate their win and then learn from those mistakes or those losses. And it's just an opportunity to grow in life.
We always say that. It's always in life, in relationships, right?
Yes.
Because I used to get told that all the time. It's like, oh, you say you're going to meet someone in God's time. Like not in your time, in God's time.
Yeah.
Now, have I met somebody in God? Not yet, but I've had achievements in work, in leadership and things like that. And it really took the right time for me. I'm glad I do this now.
Yeah.
That many years ago, where I would not have taken it so seriously.
Yeah. Yes. What a blessing.
It is a blessing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And then something else too. I finally was able to secure and was sought, and I looked for and the assistant director role of Brain Builders.
There you go. And congratulations on your new position.
Thank you. And I am so blessed. So many blessings. And then and then there was also a lesson.
Yeah. Lessons are always learned.
Lessons are, that I've learned along the way that just make me a stronger person. What's that saying? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Absolutely.
You know what? I better be walking out with some biceps and some some quads and some chingona calves, because I have learned a big lesson. And you know what? All I can say is this, that there's a quote today that I really love that I came across last night. And it's by Brene Brown. What we know matters, but who we are matters more.
Absolutely. That's a beautiful quote. I've heard that before. And it is. And when you start, when we started this show, we're now in probably number six or seven. When we first started the show, we said to ourselves that the most important thing was self-love, right?
Yes.
And then people, when you say that, they're like, oh, that I don't really understand what that means. Mm-hmm. But I've always preached about that, because until you find yourself in a comfortable area in your life, things just fall into place so effortlessly. Yes. People that were not of use to you in your life, or that were bringing you down, slowly get away, right? Mm-hmm. You push them away, and you're like, realize after a month or 2 months, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. There's somebody who you used to just, be on the phone with all the time, but really didn't bring you the joy that you needed, right?
Yeah.
And then there's things in work. A year ago, 5 months ago, 4 months ago, you were living probably just, this is what I have to do to pay my bills. Yes. And nowadays, you wake up when you fully understand what you want in life. You wake up with this really happiness.
Purpose and intention.
Yeah.
Set the day for what it is I want and what it is going to bring me joy. And then also, trying to look at the silver lining of stuff that went sideways and say, okay, What was I supposed to learn from here?
Right. And and we talk on this show on Hey Comadre a lot about relationships, right? But you also learn that you're happy by yourself with yourself. I shared this really powerful video that I rarely share these things, but when you come to a realization that you're so fed up and tired, of just meeting these random people that really don't bring anything
joy, no value, right? Nothing.
That you have to learn to love yourself and hang out with yourself, or hang out or be happy being by yourself.
That's the best. That's the first relationship that you need to build. And I was even talking to a comadre earlier, Leslie, who is at home recovering from surgery, and I was just checking up on her. And I said, you know what, girl, I was driving and I realized something. Before I got married, I went from being a daughter to being a wife. There was never that time to grow and know yourself. Now, as I'm on my own, it's like, oh, now Claudia is having to get to know who Claudia is and what she likes and doesn't like, not based on expectations that I was supposed to fulfill.
Exactly.
Along that there's this timeline. Yeah. You go to college, you go to high school, you graduate, you go to college or start your career, and then you finish that. And then you go into your career, and then you got to get married and you got to do this. Like there's like no, that's something that either me, because sometimes I think that I imposed it on myself, right? Or was I just trying to fulfill something because I wanted to make my parents happy? I wanted to make sure that my community around me was proud of me, but was I doing things for me? And now it's like building that relationship with myself is the most important thing.
It is the most important. That's all you have.
Because I'm teaching that to my girls.
And you're doing a great job.
Like girls, when they're bored, I'm like, que bueno. You're bored. That's okay. Go find something to do with yourself.
Which leads to our question. When we are bored, what do we watch on Netflix?
So, my comadre last week was on vacation, and I was watching a show that this Hey Comadre next to me was actually a part of, and it's called Married at First Sight. So share about your experience, because I've been looking for you. I know you're on there, and I'm already like watching these people like estirándose las greñas and trying to take each other's eyeballs out because they're living with people that they've never met. And I'm like, oh my God.
So a few months ago, at the beginning of the end of last year, actually, Married at First Sight came to Houston, Texas, and they had an open audition. And a good friend of mine said, hey, let's go try out. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. They're like, come on. Mm-hmm. So I went, right? And then I was like, literally standing in line with a bag of Cheetos and like not giving an F. I'm usually well put together. I just had on some jeans, a tee. I mean, it was no effort because in my mind I was like, whatever. So I get there and they do this. Prior to that, we had submitted a form, right? We had submitted like a resume. And so what caught their attention was my age and that I had never been married, okay? And I had no children. And so they wanted to know what was wrong with me.
And we need her on.
And so they needed me on because that was the weirdest thing, Plus they encounter a lot of that on the show. Yeah. So I went for 4 interviews.
Damn.
On the first interview, and then I hopped on over to another interview, and then I hopped on to a third interview. And then on the 4th interview, they said, okay, is it okay that we do your background check and everything? I was like, no way. I was like, okay. So we ended up doing
skeletons in the closet.
I know, everything falling. Like, it feels like you're running for
the closet, everything falls out on you.
So it was funny, and they found all my dating horror stories to be funny. They were like, you know what, this would be great. And then I said, you know how you just get really excited? I got excited. Yeah. So then I signed all these things, and then they're like, I got really close. I got filmed for one spot.
Nice.
Because I backed out of the show. Unfortunately, they don't film you. They film you out on location, and I could not work. I could not tell my boss that I'll be gone for a few months to be on Married at First Sight. And guess what? And I told this to Comadre. For all the crap I talk about that I want to get married, that I did, Listen, when you are confronted with it, you want to run the other way as fast as your legs can take you.
2 weeks ago, she was like, I'm ready to
Get married. And then
you better come to the table ready to commit. And then the table was laid out.
The table came.
The table set out. Everything. He was like, let's do this. And this one.
Thank you so much.
What kind of handshake did you give him? What kind of energy was it? Was it the far away?
That was a bit closer.
Oh, okay.
But Married at First Sight was such an experience. I did get on the show, and I briefly talk about who I am and who my partner was going to be, but I unfortunately did not.
Pobrecito, you left him with
I left him because I told him that I couldn't. So that was my experience with love at first sight, marriage at first sight, married at first sight. And I was supposed to get married at first sight with this person. And you have to live with the person. You have to get to know the person. And basically your contract said you're going to get married. Like you are married. And I was
going to live with them. And I'm watching that right now. And I'm
so then it leads to this right here. Would you marry
someone at first sight? I mean, there are some customs where there are some traditions and some cultures where the families actually pair you together with someone in the village.
and they give a cow for you.
In the rancho, right? Whatever.
Comadre.
And it still does.
Comadre is more sensitive. Would you marry at first sight?
And I don't think so. I mean, but then I think about like the experts on this show are supposedly doing all the interviews.
Yeah, we're doing everything,
doing all the checklists, pairing you up. But to me, it's like. I mean, I always read about there's always that attraction first.
So I will say something to you in regards to that.
Can that grow?
It does. So listen, for those that know me, I like Hispanic. Mm-hmm. I mean, what I would go for, right?
Yes.
So when auditioning,
6 foot tall, do not apply if you're under 6 feet because she will not talk to you.
So on the show,
Vaqueros,
this guy was European.
Oh.
Yeah, European, white complected, total the opposite of what I had
said on my I usually.
Yeah, and so would it get it wrong, or would now in introspect that I think about it?
Okay,
would I have married this person? Would this show be different?
Was he tall?
Yeah.
Well, if he was
I didn't really get to see him because we didn't go through the whole thing. But my thought is if I would have went through it. This show would have been totally different today.
It would have. I would have been up there, waiting for him to come down.
Comadre married.
Comadre would have been married. I would have been like, oh my God, there she comes.
So wait, Ramon.
So Ramon didn't come.
At first sight, no.
You wouldn't get married to someone at first sight. I mean, it's a show. Did you get paid? Did you get money?
Yeah, we got money. Oh, yeah, you can pay money. Yeah.
Luz, saludos a Luz también.
So I'll be honest. Yeah. I would have got married.
Really? I don't know. I mean,
you
have to do it. If you signed up, you have to do it.
But aside from the contract, if I would have met so so in other traditions, the way that you say it, people get paired together and they fall in love, right?
They actually do.
Have there been times in my life when I said, I wish I was from those kind of families because it would have avoided
all the drama.
Right? Or the still looking, still searching.
And I do have a friend who is from India. And she did go through an arranged marriage, but it was a little bit different. So it was arranged in a way, but they brought the guys, she dated each one. But with someone watching, right?
Yeah, right.
And then she's like, no, not that one. Tampoco. And then she finally settled on one, and then, he settled on her too. So even though it was arranged, but she still had a chance to say yes or no. And there was that attraction. They have this attraction too. Because
but
then he said his side too. Oh yeah, I remember when my family brought me this one and this one and that one and but then this one and then but it was too arranged.
So a lot of the shows that I like to watch are Bollywood shows because there's a lot of that, right? Yes. And then there's a lot of dancing and the makeup is amazing. But the part of that is that I feel like if my dad would have brought me 4 suitors, then we would have eliminated a lot of drama. Right?
But you know what?
But looking at the show now, would you do it?
I mean, if I'm on the show, I would.
Forget that you're not on the show.
Okay.
Say that were to happen. Are you a love at first sight person?
Yes.
Changes a lot.
Yes. Because
elaborate.
Okay, because it has happened where I'm like, oh my God, and then.
But how is that though? Like, do you say love somebody?
Well, I don't think it's really love. It's everything's an attraction first, and then it either clicks or doesn't click. But if they already gave the cows away to your dowry, with mi modo, right? It's got to work. But
have you ever said I love you to somebody on the first try? Like,
no,
I have.
You have?
I have.
Now this is a first.
That's a first. But you know what? Things change, and that's why I landed on love at first sight.
Damn. That's new. Like
I was a super great candidate for that show, by the way.
Yeah.
I might go revisit.
We are talking about marriage at first sight. No, marriage at first sight.
sight. Yeah, because you have to marry.
But
but you know what? Not to go to the extremes, but love at first sight.
Yeah. And there's people that have known each other for years. They get married, it doesn't work out. There's people that meet, they marry within a month, and it lasts forever. So it's like earlier I had the Monsieur Chase Estevez, because he does suits. But as he's doing the suits for the grooms, and he's talking about, well, how did you meet her? How did you know she was the one? I'm like, I wish people just would tell you up front, yes, you got potential, let's roll, or no, move on. Like, I'd rather you do that. I don't want to play like it's going to take me a year. No way. If you know, you know. And from reading all relationship stuff and listening to relationship coaching and all this and that, guys know. Guys know the moment they meet you and know you, if you're going to be someone that is a potential mate, partner, whatever, long-term-ish thing, or if it's not. Like, cut the BS and just tell me. And that way you can let me know.
True.
Para yo escoger. I'm going to be on the, let's have fun. Or I'm going to be like, okay, let me
back up a bit. But getting back to the setup marriages or the traditional marriages or the arranged marriages, maybe this is why they're so inclined to get married, because they didn't have to go through all these heartbreaks or they're not jaded. You see what I'm saying? Because people become jaded, comadre, after 5 breakups, 4 breakups, whatever it is.
And a partridge and a pear tree.
If te fue mal, right? If it was bad, then you're going to hold that. Even though you say, I am not going. Yeah, you are going to hold it.
You build your wall a little bit.
Yeah. Until finally you're watching videos that say, I'm exhausted. I'm completely exhausted. I shut myself to the world.
I'm going to watch Marriage at First Sight for 5 hours.
And find la comadre in there.
Wake up the next day at 6 o'clock and never went to sleep.
and then watching that, being totally judgy still.
I know.
I always think arranged marriages are that. This is why I like to date sometimes when my friends introduce me to somebody. That is the arranged marriages of 2022, because
when your
friend is not going to set you up with
nothing. Just nobody.
Right. So they're going to know this man and know a little bit about him, and they're like, here.
Yeah.
I hand chose this man for you. Because I feel like he has
that's
qualities.
A big risk too, because I would not even. I mean, I'm sorry, I love my brother, but I would not be involved in that, because if it doesn't work out, then I'm gonna have to see that person like, oh my God, I'm sorry, it didn't work out. But it would be the same with you. Like I had to be really sure, and I have to kind of scare him into, you better make it work, because you're not gonna fuck it up, or that's my friend.
And then and number 2, you can easily break a friendship doing that. Or you can easily say, well, you know what, I don't want to talk to you because I cannot believe you through that person.
Okay, so let me ask you this: marriage at first sight, friends first? Because there's this talk in that show, some of the couples are like, we're gonna have to have sex when our honeymoon because we were married, and the girls are like, I know, because we don't. You're literally having sex with a stranger.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you believe in friends first?
I do believe in friends first, but that's a tricky question, because I do not want to become just your friend. I do not know how to do that, because they immediately want to put you in your friend, like you're just a friend, and then they'll go find somebody else because you're just like I'll be your
but what
friend.
I meant, like friends first, meaning you get to know each other, maybe maybe a month passes,
True.
something versus like, oh, let's do this. But what if there's that attraction? And
What is the difference though? Nowadays, men just meet each other at these places and immediately end up, together. You know, what is the difference? And if you meet somebody that you totally, I'm not saying that this is what we do. Full disclosure. I do not.
We are just saying,
but we're just saying that they're in a relationship. If you were to meet somebody, right nowadays, like life is too short mentality, right?
FOMO.
That you really look at and say, this person, we click like crazy.
Yeah,
doesn't mean that you're going to end up, with them having sex. That it's up to you. Everybody's an adult, right? Everybody's an adult. I love that she put that wedding dress up there. Liliana, thank you for doing that. Because you know what? And then there's this whole mentality when I was on the show, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I tried out for the show, one of the things that was behind my mind was so scared because I was like, my family, like, what are they gonna say? Oh my God!
Well, there's this one girl whose parents didn't come to the wedding because they were totally against it.
Yeah.
And you know what? The guy is a douchebag. You could tell right away. This is
it. If you're watching in the clip,
right now, they're showing the clip of Married at First Sight, and this is a beautiful. She looks Latina.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was going to do. Though, yes. And I backed out, and I did receive a check for one of them.
Good for you. Good for you.
But this is not something that, after reading and really analyzing, it was scary for me.
It's a mental thing, too.
It is. It is a show, though, also. And just FYI, you do get married, but it's through...
We should do Casada con Tóxicas.
That's a great program.
Me casé con una tóxica.
Y ahora ya no. But the question falls, comadre, like...
when, where, how, what?
Why would we close ourselves to something, to really a lifetime of happiness?
Yeah. And all of them that have been on there the women did say, hey, I came on because I'm looking for my soulmate. And one of them, the one that even has that douchebag, she tried really hard. She's still trying. Yeah. And the guy keeps saying, this attraction. He is just not attracted. And see, if there's no initial attraction, can love grow?
I think so.
Well, he never let it grow.
He
didn't move into the apartment because you're supposed to move in together. Yeah. He didn't move in. Yeah. He stays at his apartment. He comes over and spends the night like it's a sleepover. And then he sleeps in his own room, not even with her in the room. And so I'm like, and the thing is that I watch her and I'm like, this bitch must be super mentally strong.
You have to.
Because like I watched the other two girls. There was two other girls that when the guys didn't want to do, bye. Like this, and that's
she was in it to win it.
Yeah,
and I was thinking, to win it.
But then also, she's in it to also say these are my standards. If we're gonna be married, you're gonna act like my husband. You're gonna be in this room, or you're gonna sleep here, and you're not gonna talk to me like that. It's like you're dating while you're married. But then the whole thing of like, well, we're married, we should be able to be all on over each other. But the girls are kind of like, it don't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
And for one of the couples, it did. One of the couples, they saw each other, and it was like, boom.
I do believe in that instant, though. I do believe in instant attraction to somebody.
Yeah.
And let me tell y'all something. We as women, and even men, right? Mm-hmm. We have this thing in our mind where we have to have these long conversations about everything we've done in life, right? In order for us to, it's like you're declaring a court. You're trying to fight for a get out of a ticket. Mm-hmm. Sir, I went out with 5 days. And why? Sometimes less is better. Say less.
Listen more.
Say less. More.
Ask a question. Be quiet.
I think it's great to know the basics of a person. Yeah. But I've learned lately that in my life, I do not ask the deep questions.
Why not?
You've asked me that
She's
before.
Like, I get bored.
No, because I feel like certain things, I don't want to know. Like, I want a clean slate with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you, I do want a clean slate.
Okay.
I don't want to know what you did with so and so and how
Well, yeah.
To me, it's that's something like obviously.
Why does
I
it
have
make
the
you feel
important-
uncomfortable?
It does.
Oh, are you really jealous?
I am,
and there's something wrong with that because I denied my jealousy for a long time, and then I read something somewhere that jealousy is okay.
I am not super jealous, but I am jealous.
You're not. I'm gonna scratch your eyeballs jealous.
I think I'm more of a respect me kind of a thing. Like, one of the worst dates I ever had with somebody who I dated for a long time. We were sitting down and having dinner, and the waitress, hey, babe,
what?
Babe,
No.
bring me, babe. And I was like, why are you calling her babe? Like, that is like, ugh. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what's that? But that was his constant thing. He spoke to women that way, and that killed me. Like, when you told me that meant nothing to me.
Ooh.
Yeah, it meant nothing to me. You told that to every woman that was out there.
Okay.
And believe me, the waitresses were very uncomfortable with that as well.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, bring me a beer. Hey, babe, how much?
Yeah. So then when they call you that, you're like, I'm just like
Dime
a
a dozen.
waitress that's working. Nothing wrong with waitressing.
No. But you're just
dime a
that
dozen.
person. Dime a
You're
dozen.
like somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this: when is it the right time? When would you accept someone's "I love you"?
First date.
At
first sight.
No, I mean, isn't that a red flag?
It is a red flag, but I'm okay with it.
You're okay with that red flag? You be flying that shit.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, well,
me?
Yeah, you.
I'm like, what do you want from me? Because I just had that experience.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say that's a lesson I learned. Is it's only been like 2 months in. What do you want? And maybe there was other red flags.
Okay.
Where I was questioning what are this person's intentions? What is he looking for? What is it that is he really into me? You're much younger. I'm much older. What? And I'm not saying it out loud, but it's all in my head. Yeah. And I over catastrophize and I overanalyze. And then this person told me multiple times and was waiting for me to say it back. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. I did want to let my guard down more,
right?
But I was afraid to because there were some red flags that there was some gut feelings that were telling me you might want to pump the brakes here.
I guess I don't know. Now you make me think I was all for it on the first date.
Shit, it's what I wanted.
Love you, Ilsa. Love you too.
So a real quick shout out to thank you SDC Builds for sponsoring our show location. Thank you so much for opening up your doors, your office. Tony Garcia, Maria Garcia, your mom. Thank you so much for just hosting us.
All here.
And we're here right now. And if you ever have some needs for your home, for your business, commercial, private, contact SDC Builds and make sure that you make an appointment with them, consultation. They're here in Houston, Texas, and they'll be happy to meet with you and figure out what needs you have for your location, your home, your business.
All right, coffee
and Leland Coffee. Yes, so you can come out here during the day between 8 and 4. No, 8 and 2.
8 and 2.
8 and 2. And stop by for some coffee. He has Leland Coffee here for you. And there's also Wi-Fi. There's couches. There's bathrooms. If you have a work meeting, you can set up here at SDC Build Leland Coffee from 8 to 2.
4001 Leland.
4001 Leland. So how early? Because I'm watching this show, Marriage at First Sight, and there are some couples that are like, I love you. Like they're all in each other. And then there's some couples that are like, where the girl's like, I love him.
Okay,
but he's not ready to say it, and he's never and he needs to have like a year to feel this out.
What is that saying about sticking your head in the sand?
Right?
That's me. That is me. 100%. I'd rather stick my head in the sand. I am not. I have tons of friends that
why are you pointing at me?
They are investigators.
They
are investigators. I mean, they will get down to the nitty gritty of this person. And I always say, guys, why are y'all getting down to the nitty gritty? Because you're going to find out things.
You will find things.
Obviously, right? You're in our case as well.
But maybe I should have found those things. Maybe I was supposed to see those things.
I like the basics. Did you kill somebody? Did you rape somebody? Have you been in prison? all that's basic. Those things I would need to know. But everything else, I don't want to know your family drama.
Okay.
I don't want to know the past of, because eventually I'm going to find
It's
out.
going to come out.
It's going to come out. And I need it to come out organically more versus me interviewing the person, because I don't like to get interviewed.
Pues ahí está el
Why
detalle.
not? Why here? Why there?
Why?
Why do you do this? Why not? And I'm always like,
Do you think that takes out the romantic piece?
I think so. This is why they're not saying I love you right away.
And you were sharing with me about a certain suitor that you were having a conversation with, and it was just kind of like, blah, like your day and then, you know, it's kind of like
it was very heavy.
Yeah, like there was no like, hey, wow, you know
me, I'm a very up person all the time. Like my day, honestly, something crazy will always happen, and if it's not, I'll have some crazy story to share, like whatever. It's very upbeat, you know.
Yeah. And
sometimes you get those people that that are very down. But we're gonna pick up this conversation.
We're gonna pick it up because this is really good.
So, and I will let you know what episode I'm on. I'll Google it and find out what episode I'm on. One episode, and we'll share it with you.
You know what? We'll bring it up next time. All right. So this has been the live stream and recording, the podcast recording of Hey Comadre. So don't forget to go and download it from Apple, from Spotify, from all kinds of places. You can also come back and watch it again. And you never know, in the meantime, if you find someone and you love them, share.
I love you.
If you fall in love with them, tell us how it went. How did it go? Was it love at first sight? You going to marry that person? Did they tell you they love you right away?
Invite us to the wedding.
We want to be damas. All right. We'll see you soon. Adios.